Welcome to the 11:15 session of the Whitty Wade's conference here at ETSU. And once again, I have, well, an esteemed panel here right immediately to my left. I don't know about you guys, I don't know anything about those jokers there. But we're going to have a good time over the next hour talking about some of the things that they all have been through. Let me introduce you. First of all, here to my left. First of all, to my left is Ellen L. Dunn, Regional Chairperson for the USA Triathlon. Dunn is a partner with the Accelerated Conditioning and Learning and Educational Resource Center for Injury Prevention and Athletic Performance Improvement by athletic trainers, athletes, and parents. She has been a council member of the Southeast region since 2011, a national competitive triathlete. Dunn will represent the USA in the World Championship this year in Chicago. Let's hear it for Ella L. Dunn. In the middle, around here, he really needs no introduction. In fact, I don't even know why I'm reading this, since really our careers kind of began at the same time. When I became sports director, really is when all this started taking off. But Heath Mr. Jennings, an All-American and winner of the Francis Pomeroy Naismith Award. Jennings led ETSU to the most successful stretch in program history from 1989 to 1991. Jennings and the Bucks made multiple NCAA tournament appearances and earned a top 10 national ranking. He went on to a solid NBA career and has spent the last several seasons as a college assistant coach. He is currently an assistant nearby at Leach McRae College in Vanderbilt, North Carolina. Keith, Mr. Jennings. And our last one. No talking about me the whole time, okay? This is what these people out here. Our last one is Carl Torbush. Having been named the head football coach at ETSU in the summer of 2013, Coach was tasked with returning the program to the field by the fall of 2015. Having played collegiately from 1971 to 73 for Carson Newman, Torbush served as an assistant coach at such prominent programs as Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Alabama, Mississippi State, and Kansas. He has also served as head coach at both Louisiana Tech and the University of North Carolina, where he won 2 bowl games on the Tar Heel sideline. So let's hear a round of applause for I didn't mention it, my name is Kenny Hawkins, I'm sports director at WJHL here in Johnson City. I guess folks, we're going to start off, I'm going to throw some softballs up here first, come with the hard stuff later, that is. No, I'm kidding. But let me ask you, and I'll begin here with Ella. What qualities do you look for, let's say, in a staff?
Well, I think already we've all heard some real common themes here. And what first comes to mind is really that I need team players. And let me just say, first of all, that something that you didn't say about me is that I've been a business consultant for about 25 years prior to starting this new business that I have. And I've been in private practice for most of that time. And so I have a little bit different role in those jobs over the years and in my role as a representative to the board of the USA Triathlon, in that the USAT staff members are volunteers, and the national boards volunteer, and so we as the regional council, which by the way, ETSU is in my region, so I'm very excited about triathlon, being approved as an NCAA sport for women, and you all are planning to do that, bring it in. So all of these things are not in the traditional staff role, right? So I'm in private practice, I'm self-employed, I'm a consultant to businesses and organizations of all kinds. So my staff really, in most ways, don't work for me, if that makes sense. However, I can make observations about what you all have already said, last night and all the dignitaries that we've heard from so far. That might be good. Y'all might like it. or maybe I was short, I gotta not move. But anyway, you know, there's common things. It's team player, but it's people who have vision. And we've used different words, you know, for vision, and we can argue about the semantics of that. You know, but what does it really mean? It really means that the people that I want to work with have got an idea of some better future state, right? And they are compelled by that internally, and they're intrinsically motivated. Is there some way I can help this? It's probably driving me all
I
crazy.
don't know if it's bad.
Is it better? But like I said, this is probably
You just talk loud.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't look on video. I'm just trying to help out.
So, yeah, what was I saying? So, at any rate, so compel, you know, they have a vision and they are able to paint a picture of future state. And the other thing is that I want to work with people who are not afraid to take risks. You know, you'd be a good example of that, you know. You're up here interviewing somebody like this, and you're like,
Really? I would be a risk for a triathlete, I can tell you that right there. Unless this got a refrigerator involved, please. Let me ask you, Coach, you just had to put together a staff here at ETSU. You answered the question, what are some of the things you look for on your staff?
Kenny, I think the biggest thing is communication skills, ability to be able to get along with others. Obviously, we're in a different situation, but to me, if you can communicate, get along with others, we make the rest of it work. Obviously, I'm a teacher because we're dealing with young men. We're in a situation right now that, you know, a lot of places have 22 and 23-year-old seniors. We've got 17 and 18-year-old freshmen. That's all we have. I think one of the funniest things, I was having a talk with them one day and talked to them about drinking and drugs and that type of thing. And, you know, first thing I did, I said, how many of you are 21? Not one hand went up. So I knew when those hands didn't go up, that I had accomplished that part of it. But, you know, I really like our staff. The thing, like I say, is I think it's the ability to be positive. A lot of it, you've been here all day long, you've heard a lot of the things that I would look for. But you know, I want it to be a positive. As soon as they walk in the office each day, I want to see a smile on their face. I want to know our coaches, I want to know their families, I want to make sure that they've got a good home life. If I want to go out recruiting, I want to make sure that if I have a son coming to ETSU, that I would want my son playing for our coaching staff. And if I can't say that, then they don't need to be here. I want somebody that will represent our university, that will represent our football team, and that will represent me in a first-class manner. But if I had to pick out one skill that I feel like it has to be there, is communication skills to get along with others.
Mr., let me ask you, I mean, obviously, coming in, I mean, you and I have basically the same problem. We're, you know, it's vertically challenged. But one thing that you had with your size, and I know Greg and Marty would agree, right? Okay, never mind. Is your work ethic. Because being small in the world of basketball sometimes is not good. Some people would say it's a tall man game. Let's talk about the hobbies and the habits that you developed growing up that went into your work ethic.
Well, you know, first of all, for me, I had to look at it different. You know, if they say basketball is a tall man's sport, I just couldn't agree with that. You know, because I know there's so many other smaller basketball players that could do the same things that taller guys did, but we just wasn't getting the same love that the taller guys were getting. So that was my first thing. I had to go play against these taller guys and make sure they knew I wasn't going to be intimidated. Like you say, Marty and Greg, you know, they did their best to try to intimidate me, but I just couldn't allow that. And in doing that, you know, I think I gained their respect. And I think that was, you know, one of the major words growing up in my family and our household. You know, my dad always told me to respect my family, respect the game. And when you get to a certain point, it becomes second nature. So then when it travels over into your work ethic, you know, I always worked like somebody important was watching me. You know, that didn't leave me any room to be out there throwing hook shots from half court or just doing stuff where a coach could possibly look at you and be like, he's not serious. So when they looked at me, and I knew I wasn't getting as many opportunities as the 6'3", 6'4" guards, I had to make sure they knew I was serious about the game. And so that's how I approached it, and good things came out of it.
You know, thinking back, who was an athlete that you had interaction with that really displayed great leadership qualities, and when you think back, what made them great?
Well, excluding myself, I mean, it would probably sound strange, but I would say my older brother. I mean, even though he didn't play professionally, you know, he helped me understand that no matter what, people aren't going to make it easy for you. You know, I can remember vividly, you know, from the age of like 6 to about 14, I could never beat him one-on-one. And I would go in the house crying, and my brother would come in the house after me laughing, and I could hear my mom saying, man, why don't you let him win? He's like, nope, I'm not ever going to let him win. And that bothered me, but in a way I was like, okay, that must be that killer instinct that coaches say they like the players have, because I developed that. And then when I finally beat him, then, you know, it was on payback for the rest of my life. So, I mean, that was just some of the things that I learned as far as trying to be the best that you can be. And then, you know, hopefully you can play with guys that take it as seriously as you do, and then you can do something special together.
Ellen, how about you?
Well, I was sitting here thinking about it, and since I work in the multi-sport world, you know, we got people from all walks of life, ages, shapes, sizes, who enter the sport. Para-triathlon is huge in triathlon now, and it's sub-disciplines. So I guess, you know, I mean, I know lots of people. I work with a woman who's on the women's committee, national board, Melissa Stockwell. She lost her leg overseas and serving in our military. And she was a triathlete before she went, and she came back and got a good prosthesis and is now a world champion level para-triathlete athlete. So people like that inspire me. And people who are just get off the couch and decide they're going to do a triathlon, and they have a bucket list that they're going to go to 170 miles in an Ironman distance, those people are rock stars to me. And the people who weigh 400 pounds and they decide they're going to do a sprint and they lose 150 pounds and they do that, and watching those people come across the finish line, those people inspire me.
I didn't know you read my background. Coach, you had an opportunity, obviously, to coach a lot of great young men. As I just mentioned, you were an assistant coach on a number of high-profile programs. So looking back, what leaders do you remember the most, and really what made them great?
I think the one that stands out to me probably be a young man by the name of Brian Simmons. He ended up being a first-round draft choice and had about a 10-year pro career, and now he's a professional scout. But the thing that impressed me so much, he came in, he was a high school running back. He's about 6'1", about 185 pounds. The spring of his freshman year after we redshirted, I had a talk with him, and I told him I thought you'd be a great outside linebacker. He said, that's not what he wanted here. He wanted here, I can be a great running back. So he ended up moving because we asked him to move, and to watch his improvement the next 4 years, to go from a backup linebacker to a first-round draft choice with great work habits. To me, that was what leadership was all about, because not only was he became an excellent player, he became a great leader because of his work habits and his production on the field. And just to see him, what he did athletically, academically, socially, and spiritually over his career, and be where he is now and still maintain a contact with him 25 years later, that would have to be the guy that stands out to me.
We run into a number of athletes who leave school early and promise that they will come back and get their education. There are a lot who do, and then there's a lot who don't. You did. You came back and got your education. Talk about how that's impacted your ability to lead student athletes and your peers.
Well, you know, it was something I promised my mom, you know, and really when I had graduated and went on to play professionally, you know, I really didn't know if I wanted to go back professionally. I wasn't the best student, you know, but when I did get the opportunity to come back and I was able to finish, it gives you a certain type of credibility with the kids. You can make them understand now, take advantage of the opportunity now instead of waiting, coming back 15, 20 years later. And I can remember vividly walking through the campus in East Tennessee, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm an old man. I'm around all these young people. And it kind of made me feel a certain type of way, but I had to do my classwork, and I ended up making it happen. So you know, that's one of the main things you know, along with Coach Hart, we really want our kids to graduate. And we're really trying to give them all avenues to be the best student athletes they can become. Because like I think one of the ladies said, you know, your time in the sun, it's not going to be there long. So enjoy it when you can, but I think it's on you then to give knowledge to some younger people, and hopefully they'll take it and run with it.
Of course, if they walk through the dome and saw your picture on the wall everywhere, they say, hey, I know that old man. Passing on campus every day. We have an opportunity, we have an opportunity, I'm going to bring it up real quick, give you a chance to talk about the fact, you know, I said that Mr. played in the NBA, and I remember going up to Indianapolis and catching up to Mr. there when he was with Golden State. And I remember a quick story, real funny. I remember walking into the locker room and I didn't know who Tim Hardaway was. Yeah, I didn't recognize him. So I walked in and I walked back out. And I went to my camera guy and I said, man, I can't figure out which one is Tim Hardaway. Because, you know, it was the visitor's locker room, so the name wasn't on the locker room. And so my man, Chris McIntosh, said, you're just going to suck it up. Just go in there and just say his name, see who turns around. So I walked back in there and I said, Tim. And he turned around and he said, no, man, because I saw you come in a minute ago. But anyway, he came over and he did it like him. I started cracking up. But I have to say, congratulations to your former team, the Golden State Warriors, this year's NBA champions, and gotta give yourself some pride with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely great being a part of an organization that wins, whether it be the NBA title or when we came here to East Tennessee State and we started winning, and you know, it's always a great feeling. You know, and plus, I can't talk about Marty and Greg enough. You know, they got 4 rings, I only got 3, so I was all the time. So playing with people that win championships, and you know, it's always. I mean, I love winning. You know, I wasn't the best loser, but I learned to accept it. But I love winning. It beats nothing. It's good to be involved with somebody that's winning.
And it's funny because Mr. just touched on something I'm going to ask you, Ellen, Coach. We hear all the time, is winning the only thing?
Not the only thing, but
But it's pretty good. It's pretty much what we want to have out of it.
I mean, if that's the result, if you got a winner and a loser, I want to win.
But I think, you know, I mean, truthfully, I mean, I don't show up unless I plan to win. I mean, that's kind of just in my DNA, you know. People say, well, now, I do try to say, well, I'm just going to have fun today, and usually I do better if I relax a little bit, you know. But I think we can redefine winning, right? You know, so I think something that's characteristic of an endurance athlete is that, you know, some things work, some things don't work, and you don't know until you're out there. You know, you feel great at mile 25 on the bike, but at mile 85, you don't feel quite as good, and then it might need to change the plan a little bit. So,
I agree.
you know,
I struggle a little bit at 83, but
anyway, you learn from your mistakes, and that's what really great leaders are, great teammates are. And so, you know, we do define in multi-sport if we cross the finish line, it's a good day. Or if we have to aqua bike, it's a good day, maybe drop the run. Or if we're not a good swimmer and we get out of the water alive, one piece, and able to make the transition, that's a good day too. So these are winning kinds of things, because those things you can take to the next race, right? Or to some other applications. We hear, sports is the perfect tool to be used in business to, it's a great teaching tool, right? Because it's all the same stuff. We've got goals, we've got the roles, we've got the rules, we've got the boundary conditions, we've got the relationships, and we've got the feedback. And these are all things that you need in business and things you need in sports. So winning to me can be certainly learning something important about it. At what point does my body shut down because I've used all my glycogen stores and I can't replace them fast enough? That's, we call it bonking. So the first time I ever did that, it was horrible. And I was really mad at myself, but I didn't do that again. And so that was a win for me that day because I needed to experience it.
Coach, let me ask you, in this business world, is winning everything? Is it the process?
Yeah, first of all, Ken, if you were on that bicycle after 10 miles, it'd have 2 flat tires. To me, I think there's a difference in winning and a winner. Winning, all of us can see who wins and who loses. I mean, as a coach, we don't win enough. After a couple of years, we're not going to have a job. And that's the process is speeding up over the last 15 or 20 years because of the internet and talk radio and everything else. But, I think we can still be a winner. I mean, if I take an athlete who's an average athlete as compared to Mr. who's a great athlete, and my average athlete has done everything he can possibly do to put himself in position to perform to the best of his ability and still loses. In my opinion, in his heart, he should still consider himself as a winner. Because if I'm 4.840, I'm still 4.840 compared to his 4.5. Common sense tells you I'm not going to win that battle. But again, like I say, there is a difference in winning, which all of us know what winning is. That's determined by how much you sell or what your business does or how many games we win on the field. A winner is the product that we have for the rest of our life. I remember the first 2 years in North Carolina, the first 2 years we were 1-10 and 1-10. In today's world, you wouldn't get a third year, you'd be gone. But they gave us a third year and we got better and better and better. And I remember staying over there the first 2 years at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out a way to win a ball game, and that still did not make those players any faster. They were still 4.940s compared to 4.5, so we coach all we want to. I know what's going to win that battle, but I think there is a difference in winning and a winner.
I don't think that, and of course, everybody knows, I don't think any of us, well, at least I know I don't. You don't wake up in the morning and start cracking raw eggs and then running in the morning through meat markets, using my egg scrambled, How do you wake up, not only in sports but in business, with that type of attitude that you're going to go out the door and conquer the world?
Well, I think in my situation it's probably a little bit different starting the football program over again. I get excited every day I wake up to see what else we've got to do to take the program where it needs to be to have a chance to be competitive. It all starts this fall. We've had 2 years, and by the way, I'm still undefeated, so everybody likes me. Hopefully that'll stay that way for a long, long time. At some point, you're going to have to make an evaluation. But, I think it's really, really important as far as my leadership style. When I walk that office every morning, I want everybody to be excited, to have a smile on their face, and look forward to what's getting ready to happen. I've been in a couple of places where I had to be really, really mentally tough and rely a lot on faith just to go through the day. You can always make it because, all of us, if we're going to compete, we're not going to quit. It may not be easy, but I know it was a lot better for me, the type of person I am, if I came in and saw a smile and excitement on people's face because that made me want to work harder. Whether we had won or lost on Saturday, Sunday, you know, it was miserable for a while because we all went in, but then we realized we got another chance this next Saturday, so let's move forward. And it's just like baseball. I mean, if you go 0 for 4, you're gonna feel miserable, but you got a chance the next day to go 3 for 4, your batting average is back where you wanted to be to start with. So I think it's really, really important that me as a leader, that I set the environment in a positive direction, let our coaches understand what's expected, know that I hire the right people to get the job done, and then make it a positive environment where they will make it a positive environment for our players.
You always run into bad performance, whether it be on the athletic field or at work, and they say, shake it off, that's behind you, move forward. Talk about how you guys move forward.
I mean, it's a challenge, you know. I know when I look back to my junior year, and we lost, I think, Georgia Tech in the NCAA tournament, and you know you got 1 year left to come back. You kind of understand that, you know, it's good to make it this far, but next year we want to go even further. So when you know that, and like you said, I think a lot of it is built within your teammates and your coaching staff, because if they get you to believe in yourselves, and then you got your policemen on the basketball team that don't stand for any nonsense, then it gives you an opportunity to try to make something happen your last go around. Because we all understood, I mean, if everybody, the people that play, whether any sport, whether it's high school or college or pro, you know, when you get down to your last game and you know, hopefully you got next season, then you can't dwell on the past, even if you win it all. You know, you still got to try to get better. And I've heard a lot of coaches say that every day, try to get better. And that's a challenge, you know, and I think the people that do that, the organizations, the teams that do that, then, like you said, you're going to find a winner in that scenario, whether you win it all or not.
Yeah.
What's the question?
It was me riding a bike for 85 miles. Perfectly inflated tires.
Yeah.
No, it was, the question was how do you shake things off and move forward, not only in athletics, but also in business?
Yeah, I was kidding about that, but I think you learn, like you said, you know, you get up every day, and you know, you reflect to some extent on what happened before, and you take from that, you know, and I think one of the things Dr. Sanders and I were talking about this yesterday is, you know, the best athletes and the best business people, the best leaders learn from their mistakes. They're not afraid to make mistakes, and they're like kind of able to shake it off and go on, right? So, but they lay down a new pathway because they learned something. They don't forget it, you know, and they put it in their back pocket for later. And so I think the other trick is, and I deal with this in the amateur sports world all the time. People say, well, I hate to run. You know, I just need to lose 30 pounds, but I just hate, and I think I'm going to take up running. I say, well, you know, you don't have to run. You can lose 30 pounds doing other things, but the main thing is you wake up and do something you want to do. Because life is short and you need to love what you do. And so to me, you know, I want people around me, and what I do is I love what I do. And so when that alarm goes off at 3:50 every day of the week, I love to get out of bed and do it. So I tell people, you know, that in order to be a winner, you need to find things you like to do and that you want to learn more about, and that you know, feel comfortable trying. And if it's not this, do something else, you know.
Is that PM?
That you would be at 6:30.
Well, you know, because I've got a business and a daughter and you know, all that, I go to bed about midnight every night. I don't get enough sleep. I mean, I will say that. And I'm not going to sit up here. All of us are type A people. Everybody in this room, I bet, is type A, you know, to some extent. We're overachievers, you know, and somebody, my daddy made me like that, I'm pretty sure, you know, just tell me I throw like a girl, so, you know, but the point is, you know, if you want to do it, you figure out how to do it. You do it on less sleep, right? Or do it in circumstances that are more difficult. 358. I'll call you tomorrow.
You go to bed first of all. I'll tell you tonight, you tell me good morning. Let me ask you, we all like to think that we work with or play with the perfect teammate. That doesn't happen sometimes. Sometimes you work with people that kind of bring down, or play with people who bring down the whole organization. How do you overcome that?
Yeah, I think the first thing you gotta do is develop a relationship with your players. I personally, and I know Steve the same way, we're back, we use our managers, our trainers, and some of those fellow teammates to get a heartbeat of what's going on in the team. Because sometimes, if you're not careful, you can get fooled. I have an evaluation at the end of the season, which I just had, and I don't ask them to rat a teammate out, but I'll ask them, who would be the most positive teammates you have right now, and who would be the biggest whiner we have on the team? And you'd be amazed that 2 or 3 of the kids that you thought were the quote ideal guy, but they were really Eddie Haskell. Everybody knows who Eddie Haskell is. But I think it's really important to develop a relationship. One thing that we do is we have a leadership committee. We let our players pick out one player at each position and a couple wild cards, so we've got everybody covered. And then I meet with those guys periodically throughout the season, throughout the off season, and get a heartbeat about what's going on, what we can do to make it better, where they can air out complaints. And I let them know real simple, but that I'll listen, I'll evaluate, I'll correct it if we can, but I have final authority. I'm going to say no. I have the ability to say no. But I think they all feel good about the opportunity to voice their opinions. So, it's amazing that you'll think that certain kids are certain ways, and then you find out with their peers they're really not that way. And we want to make sure, just like all of us do, that if we're having some tough times, that the leadership guys, the guys that truly believe in what you're doing in your program, that they're going to try to cut that cancer out before it gets to me. Because if it gets to me, then, obviously we don't want more cancer to spread, so we may have to get rid of somebody else to do that.
Let me ask, how do you finish something, this is for everyone here on the panel, because we're getting close to almost wrapping up, but how do you finish something that you start? What drives you to not give up? I mean, I know that you know those people, either that you work with, or you live with, or you play with. They start project after project and they don't finish. So talk about that, motivates you to start the project. What drives you to finish it?
Well, me personally, once you quit, it becomes easy to quit. It's like she quits on that bicycle. Next time it's going to be a lot easier to quit 5 miles sooner. I'm out on a 30-minute jog, and all of a sudden I said, I don't want to do this anymore. That's the reason. When I jog, I don't jog the whole time. Some people can jog and walk and jog and walk. To me, that's not what I can do to feel good about myself. But I think the biggest thing, in my opinion, is to make sure that whatever you start, that you do whatever you need to do to finish it. And if you do that, you never get what I call loser's end, which is basically quitting, because I do feel like, and I've seen it not only in fellow teammates or coaches or players, if they quit that first time, it's like you don't go to class that first time, it becomes a lot easier the next time not to have to do it. So what we try to do is, and I try to do, is make sure that I lead by example and don't quit the first time. That way I don't have to deal with it the second time.
I think, when it comes to quitting, like the coach said, I just don't do well with it. I've been blessed to play with a bunch of guys that they didn't have that type of mentality. So when you've got schools that already have tradition, and you got guys that maybe start the tradition, when you align yourself with certain people, then things like that probably won't come up. I remember Coach Margo running us like crazy through the VA, and I would look at Greg and Marty, and they would look at me and like, don't you stop. I'm like, don't you stop. I mean, it's good to have some type of encouragement from your partners to help you get through those certain type of things. Now, of course, you can also run into guys that might be wanting to transfer because maybe they don't feel like they're getting enough playing time. I mean, as a teammate, you gotta come at them in a way where I hope you stay, but I understand and respect your decision if you wanna leave because everybody wants to play, but everybody can't play. So it's kind of like a fine line, but at the same time, I think the more people you align yourself with that you know won't quit or won't give up on you, then I think you won't have to worry about that problem. That's one of the least of your worries, that kind of thing.
That's great. Well, I'm thinking about, I agree with those things a lot. And as an athlete, you know, obviously you've got preparation and you do the best you can and you show up and you get the best equipment you can. You have to try to act like you know what you're going to do, right? And then there's a certain percentage that's really willpower. I mean, you do as much as you can to prepare, but it's willpower. But a guy named Mike Ween wrote a book called The Specific Edge, and it's a great book. It's a little book and I recommend it. And he talks about, you know, focus, discipline, and endurance. And that those three things, you know, he's a marketing guy and helped develop the Tostitos brand and had a lot of failures before that, right? So, but I think making sure, you know, that you're able to move between those things. You know, if you're not doing well and you're starting to hurt, you're starting to quit, well, what I need to do is go back, you know, and sort of take a few steps back. It's different strokes for different folks at different times, right? So I think being able to move between the focus and concentration on the target and the discipline, which is all about preparation and doing the work, you know, planning the work and working the plan, and then being able to kind of morph between them, and then having a certain amount of endurance that, you know, you can go to the end. I think if you can manage your people, your players, yourself, kind of in this construct of what's really important, then I think you can be successful. And then one other thing I want to say to you, and I've heard y'all talk about this in a lot of different ways, and their models, and last night the guys were talking about, you know, their books, right? You know, there are all these books, and if you notice, they all say the same thing. Tom Peters says the same thing, Zig Ziglar's, Ken Blanchard, they all say the same thing. With a different, you know, Don Shuler's written a good book about, you know, coaching, and it's all very similar. Well, I would say to you that what keeps people in the game also is understanding, and I think Michelle and Susan were talking about this too, you know, there's a certain amount of direction and there's a certain amount of support that people need at different times. And so there's a real authoritative piece as a coach or as a manager, leader, that's required at certain times. And then there's a support piece that's required. Michelle, you were talking about this with regard to, you know, your coach's style. Pat's style with you know, is real directive, but not very supportive. And you're saying, I need a little more support. I know what I'm supposed to do. Right, so being able to understand, Ken Blanchard really developed this model called situational leadership. And it was a 1 Minute Mentor, y'all remember that book and all those related books. But anyway, the situational leadership model is great for helping people get to the finish line on tasks and projects and keeping them in the game, which is really what you want with your rock stars and with your kids you're trying to develop, with your para-triathletes who've just lost their leg and they need to, you know, be reintegrated into the community through sport. So I would encourage you to check out that situational leadership model and see how, you know, I'm sure you're already doing it, but it's helpful to see when there's crisis or pain on the front line, when the boots on the ground are starting to question what we're doing or run out of gas. This situational leadership model is very effective for helping people get there. And in order to get there, they got to stay in the game.
Coach, talk about what you've learned on your journey to success.
Well, I got a simple philosophy. If you heard me speak before, I always say that good players make good coaches, great players make great coaches, and bad players make fire coaches. I've tried all three of them. I like that middle one best. So, you know, but I do feel strongly in your profession as well as mine, that if you can get everybody on the same page and they know exactly what's expected and what we're representing, and I think that's one thing that all of us, we're not careful, the more people we get involved with. For instance, football, we've got 120 players, we've probably got about 12 to 15 coaches, managers, trainers. And if you're not careful, you don't get to know them personally and what makes them tick. Is their mom and dad going through a divorce at home? Do they have to fight with their girlfriend? Your coaches, I think it's, the more that we can know our employees, our players, the better that they'll respond to the adversity that they're going to face, and all of us are going to face that. But I think as long as all of us realize that we're all in the same boat and paddling in the same direction, that you'll get a better effort out of everyone. Because I think the worst thing you can do is, you know, if you're an abusive boss, whether it's a coach, whether it's a leader, whatever it may be, they may do what you ask them to do, but they're not going to be excited about the opportunity to help all of us get better. And you know, as a football coach, we're not going to win all the games. I wish we would, but that's not going to happen. Not in athletics, you're not going to win all the games. And it's really important to me how we respond to the adverse situation more than we respond to the successful situations. Because our players are looking at that. And, you know, I had last year at North Carolina, when I was the head coach there, you know, we started out good and had some tough times. And I think I did a better job as a leader when we were not doing very well than when we were doing well. Because they had a chance to see me respond in some tough situations. And I still, to this day, 20 years later, all of a sudden I'm going to call from one of our former players and say, thank you, coach, for being the leader you were in this tough situation. And to me, that means more at my age than probably it would have been at 25 or 30 years of age, because now I know that, just like I said, the difference in winning and being a winner. I know that I was a winner with those people, because they're able to call me back right now, and we're able to talk about dealing with those tough situations and how you respond. I say it all the time. Don't blink, just keep moving forward. If you keep doing that, keep on track, stay consistent, be honest, be upfront, then it'll all work its way out at the end.
One of the things, real quick, on the same subject with you, there are some bosses, some coaches that we've seen over the years that rule in fear, and they really don't get the respect in the end. Does rule in fear, does it work, or are you in an agreement that should be another way to do it?
Well, I think, me personally, now, I'm different than a lot of people. A lot of people rule in fear because they pay them enough that they can't leave. But if you rule in fear, you pay the same thing as the guy next door that's doing it a different way that you'd be excited to work with. Probably as soon as that guy gets off work that day, he's calling and say, hey, you got a job open over there? So, you know, I think you got to be, I don't agree with it. My leadership style is to make it a positive, healthy work environment that when they come in that door each day, they're excited about working for Carl Torbush or playing for Carl Torbush, understanding that we're going to do certain things, certain ways, and that's what's expected. But tell them on the front end, that way they know before they come whether they will be there or not.
Okay, before we wrap up, Ella challenged me to do this at the very beginning. So I told her, you know what, I don't know, but the more I sit here, I'm feeling more like Dr. Phil. I feel good right now. I mean, I'm busy, but I'm not bald. But I'm going to ask you, I wasn't going to ask this question anyway.
I didn't think of it, by the way.
You know, you had told me I should do it.
Well, that's a good idea. I'm just
We'll have a
encouraging.
few minutes, but I'm going to ask, if you were an animal, what type of animal would you be? So let me tell you where I'm going with this, because this is going to tell me what type of leader you are. Because the animal that you tell me that you are, if you tell me you're the guy to go lizard, then and that's not gonna do anything for me right now. So what kind of animal would you be?
Me? I would be a dog and specifically a boxer. I've got a boxer that is loving and faithful to me, but I believe if you came over there and hit me, then that dog would take both your ears off your head. Very loyal, very reliable, sweet, know exactly where it stands, but at the same time, we're going to back you up in every way you need backed up. So that would be my animal, boxer.
I'd be a giraffe.
The dog probably too, and like a pit bull probably. I mean, I'm as nice as, when I played, I was as nice as you. Off the court, nice guy. I mean, how's your mom doing? Everything, I wish the best. But between those lines, it was just like something that switched in me. And I just wanted to beat you. And I was going to lock onto you, and I wasn't going to let go until you said you had enough. So I would probably fashion myself after a nice pit bull.
All right, ask Ella real quick. How many of you got a chance to watch Mr. when he played? Raise your hand. Okay, let me tell you something. This guy called more junk than he called anything. Where I sat, I could see him moving his mouth. When the guy was at the free throw line, when the guy was throwing the ball in, I said, he's talking more junk than anybody out there. So he's right. When he got on the court, he hit a switch. All right, you've had longer than anybody to think about this question.
Well, I know, because I started to say giraffe, because I like to see way down the court, so what's happening. So, and I mean that, allegorically speaking too. But I think, and I like boxers, I like, all that, and I've got that in me too. But I guess I'd like to be a chimpanzee, because, they sit around up in the trees and drink themselves, and they don't worry about anything, and they've got partners take care of, it's communal team. But seriously, adults help support, they support what they help create. And I think, the team thing, I'm in an individual sport actually, but what I know about life and business is that I want a community of people all working on the same goal. And even though triathlon is an individual sport, people encourage each other. And this is something sort of notable about triathlon. Those of you who have tried it or planning to do it, we support each other. So it's really, you're competing against your own PR, your own personal time, best time, and we're all elevated by helping each other. I believe in synergy. I believe in the fact that together we are stronger than we are by ourselves. And I've had people in a race come back and give me a tube so I could put it on my bike and continue the race. And those are the kinds of things that, I don't know if this is true, not having been at a chimpanzee before, but I think that's what they do, they take care of each other. There's a communal living and hunting and family and raising the kids and all that stuff that needs to get done. And I just, I like that.
They also other stuff too, but we manage.
Yeah, that's right. Well, sometimes that's called for, and that feels good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna end on that.
Wait, what kind of animal would you be?
I'm gonna be King Kong. Biggest cat in the jungle. Can't believe nobody looked at that. The reason why I bring that up, I asked you to ask yourself in your mind what kind of animal you would be, because it might tell you a little bit about who you are in the workforce. So with that, I think lunch is going to be, so see, that's the reason why they had me at this hour, because lunch is next. And then we're going to hear from Major General Harrell as well. Once again, please let me hear for